All right,
Cool.
I'm gonna give it to you straight.
Okay.
Um, I think I told you, I touched on it a little bit, that I had something planned for it.
Hmm.
Did I touch on that or
You
no?
did. Yeah, and then like you said, you basically said that you weren't sure about the deal anymore because you might end up getting rid of it for something else or something along those lines, and you would know in a few days. But we just never ended up, uh, catching up.
Right. So it was, I was supposed to or trying to trade the lab for the VU, like full ownership.
Ooh.
But there was a problem with that, and the problem was that CG owned 49%, right?
Yeah.
And that was at the time when they were at war. So I tried finessing Mr. K and acting like there was beef with Dex, even though we were both planning to like get the
Mm.
percentage. And I got Dex's approval for this. Like I didn't want to snake him. I gave like CG for heroin for free because I was like, hey, Mr. K, like, because they asked, they needed heroin. They're like, I was like, oh, Mr. K, like, is it against GSF? Because if it is, take it for free, right? So I gave him 4 heroin syringes for free and stuff like that. Tried buttering him up. It was starting to work. He was like, damn, you must really hate GSF. This, that. Once we take a few sprays, maybe we'll talk about that as well. After we get this VU shit worked out, this, that, and the fourth. It was all working out, and then I guess the war's over, I think, from my
It
understanding.
is. It
And
is.
I
Yep.
haven't heard anything from Mr. K, and I haven't heard from Dex, so I'm gonna make sure it's all settled that I'm not getting shit, and then I'll probably just hand you the key.
All right, because I spoke to GSF about the war. It wasn't Dex, but it was somebody else that was in the EU, and he basically said shit has ended, and they're getting their spray back that's on their block. But Dex and Mr. K have to be awake at the same time to do the transfer. But all of the beef and stuff is done. So that's all the information I know, and that was about 3 days ago that I asked that, and I haven't. The spray still is there, so I'm assuming that Dex and K did not manage to link up yet. So,
Okay.
but what I was gonna say is, if your plans for the VU doesn't work out, we are very interested, and we're willing to do multiple different things. So the first would be, we could do the deal that we talked about before. We give you like $1 million as collateral, and we will give you pillows every time that we cook. And then it would be in a spot that you guys and us would be able to have access to. When I say us, I mean me. And we'll just keep doing it that way. The other thing is, the other route that we could go is, if you guys are completely over the lab and you don't use it at all, we would be willing to buy it from you. And if we bought it from you, and for a substantial amount of money, I know that you invested a shit ton. I'm not saying that we would be able to give you $10 million, but like, we'd be able to give quite a bit of money, maybe like 5 million,
No.
something along those lines. But what we would do is, we would then supply you guys with the meth that you need to continue to do your runs. So instead of like every time that we cook, if we're giving you a pillow or two, instead what we would do is, we would still be cooking on our tables, but we would also be cooking in the lab, and we would make sure that you guys continue to get the runs that you guys need at a very favorable price. So that way you're benefiting on both ends. That way, if something ever happened to the key, we wouldn't have much of an issue between the two of us, because we had already given you a large sum of money for the buyout. And it would just make it so that, I know that we wouldn't have a problem, but it would make things less awkward if somebody came after the key and we ended up having it. But I just wanted to throw that out there, just in case, I'm only saying that, and I never brought that up before, simply because it seems as though you're willing to give it up. And if you're just willing to give it up and you don't want it, like if you were going to trade it for the VU, then it is what it is. And I'm going to be honest with you, and this will be between us. If that deal does go through with GSF and you give GSF the key, we will try and steal it.
I don't give a yeah. I'll
Yeah,
tell you exactly
so-
I'll tell you the location of it as soon as I sell it. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, if it does go that route, we would totally be fine with you getting yourself the VU, and then we would just go hard at trying to get it. And I got love and respect for GSF. I haven't had a problem with them in a long time. But if there's a key up for grabs and they're using it during our hours, I'm sorry, man, but that's just it. We're going to have to just go for it. So, honestly, that would be even better for us, and it'd be better for you. Or if you did sell it to us, maybe they have a bio price for the VU, and you can still get what you want via money instead of via key. So that you still get what you want. We can have a lab, they get rich, and it all kind of works out. Or I can do some really snaky shit, and I could try and get it so that I can work with GSF on the lab and end up getting it regardless. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that we could do. But obviously, it's all in your hands. Just know we're still very interested.
Okay, I'll keep you updated.
All right, fantastic.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay, well, if you need anything, just let me know, all right?
Yeah, likewise, dude.